Guys, page 1 we'll do part A, and then you can do part B on your own, okay? But for part A here, a lot of people don't remember how to do this. It's saying rewrite this in function form. So we want to get it so that there's not this n minus 1 up there. So we want to split it. And you might forget how to do that because it's been a while. So what we're doing first is we're going to split this 1/4 to the n minus 1 and write it as 1/4 to the n times 1/4 to the negative 1. And when you see a negative exponent, what do you do with that? Does anyone remember? Reciprocal. Good. So what's the reciprocal of 1/4? 4. So this we can rewrite as 6 times 1/4 to the n times 4. And then you can just take that 6 times 4, which is 24. And then it's 1/4 to the n power. And it says in function form, so usually you'd see that as like f of x. Here I have n, so I'm going to write f of n. If you switch that to an x, that's no big deal. But that would be your function form for it then. Okay, and part B is very similar to that. Then if we scroll down here, does the table represent exponential? How can you figure out if it's exponential? What would be happening in this table when my x's are going up by 1? What would be happening to my y's if it was exponential? It would be multiplying by the same thing each time. If it was exponential, yep. So, but what do we notice here is it's going up by 3 each time. So if we're adding something each time, this would be, what'd you say? It's arithmetic, right? Which would be like a linear function. It's going up by 3, so it's got the same slope. So does this represent exponential? No. And you could say that there is not a common ratio. Okay, this actually has a common difference of 3. So it would actually be linear in this case. Okay, the common ratio would be like if we multiply by 3 each time, then it would be exponential. Okay, if we scroll down to the bottom one here, the bottom one tells us that Eric has been collecting comic books for the past few years. The number of total comic books in his collection each year is as follows. So for the first year, he has 30. For the second year, he has 60. The third year is 90. So it's going up by 30. So what type of a function is this? Linear. And linear you could write like y equals mx plus b, right? So what is my m if it goes up by 30 each year? 30. Okay, that's your slope. And then this, our b, this is our slope, and then our b is our what? Y-intercept. Does anyone know what the y-intercept is? What'd you say? 0? How'd you get there? You have to go back to here. Okay, the y-intercept happens when our x is 0, so you'd subtract 30 to go back, so this would be 0. So our equation for a function, and it says as the number of years t, so f of t equals 30t is all we'd have there. All right, so that'll get you started.